Hey guys, what's up? I'm Pratyay and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today on this channel we would be summarizing the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I personally recommend you all to watch it till the end because this book literally changed my life. How? I used to overthink a lot before reading this book. I used to overthink on what people will think about me and overthink on all those little things of life. But this book changed my perspective by telling me that I personally am not great enough, and to become great I have to let go of that inferiority I feel or the fear of being judged by people. So I recommend you all to watch this video till the end, and this book summary or this book will change your lives. So let's start the summary with the first point, which is the feedback loop from hell. So the author Mark Mason in this book has said, and I quote, that the desire for a positive experience is in itself a negative experience, and acceptance of one's negative experience is a positive experience. What this means is basically, if you say you are aiming at a certain height of marks, let's say you want to get above 95% marks in your exams, it's a good goal, yes, but if you're constantly bombarding yourself with the 95% fact, it will turn out to be quite a negative process and a depressing process. You will be studying 10 hours a day every day, but you will just think that if I had studied 12 hours a day it would have been even better. You won't be proud of your achievements, and that will turn the whole 95% thing into a negative experience. Whereas if you just embrace your mistakes on the other hand and just accept that it is what you are but you can work your way through it, that will ultimately become a positive experience for you. Let's talk about the point number 2, or the second takeaway from the book, which is, what does not giving a f mean? Not giving a f basically means not caring about things. But if I stop right here, it would be like, humans need to care, right? Humans need to care about certain things in their lives in order to live. That's what gives our life meaning. So if I say that you don't have to give about things or not care about things, I would be practically saying that humans don't need meaning in their life, which is completely wrong. So that's why let me clarify. When I say, or when the author Mark Mason says that you have to stop caring about things, he's basically saying that humans are always choosing, whether it be if you want to go to gym in the morning or evening, whether it be if you want to study right now or go out and walk, whether it be you want to study abroad or study in India, based on your financial decisions and whatever. So it's like you're always choosing, and the author says that you don't have to burden yourself with all those decisions, which would ultimately lead to you mistaking some of the decisions, as you are doing so many decision making, and it's natural that you will run out of your willpower at one point of the time. That's why the author says that you have to one by one cut giving about this small decision and keep only the important ones in hand, and then care about only certain important things and not about everything. You don't have to care about if you go to walk or not, but you sure have to care about you have to study or you have to select a proper college. That's the things you have to care about. You can go to the gym in the morning or evening. It's something that will work both ways. So you don't have to overthink on if you should go to the gym in the morning or evening, but you should think about what could be bad, what could go wrong if you don't study right now. That's what the author says when he says don't give in your life, or don't give too much F's in your life. Point number 3 is, happiness is a problem. Yes, let me say it. Happiness is a problem. We have always in our whole life seen happiness as a result of something good. We humans strive for happiness. We just want to complete this task so that we can be happy. We want to get along with that girl so that we can be happy. We want to get good marks so that we can see our parents happy and we can ourselves be happy. But that's quite a wrong assumption. Happiness lies in the process. If you wait for the goal to be achieved and then you think you will get the happiness, yes, you will get the happiness. I'm not denying that. But it would be like a general burst of happiness which will fade away in 2 or 3 days. Like if I get my result and if I get something good percent, if I get good percentage, it would be like, yeah, I'm happy I got such good percentages. But after 2 or 3 days it will just fade away, because those are just some mere numbers and not anything more which would help me in taking admission further in my studies. But if I thought about it that way, that the whole process of studying to get higher percentage, if I could in some ways gamify it, or if I could in some ways make it sort of interesting, find an accountability partner maybe, in that ways I could make the whole process happy. And happiness truly lies in the process and not the achievement or the goal. So on this, the author has also said that happiness is not a solvable equation. If we see life as an equation, most people want to have a constant string of happiness in their life. They want happiness to be constantly in their life, and they don't want to face sorrow in their life. But being honest, happiness exists only because there is sorrow. Without feeling sorrow, we could never understand or realize what real happiness is. You will be happy as long as you are working or in progress for something. If you're sitting idle, if you're getting bored, overthinking will start and happiness will just whoosh, fly away. Problems never stop. They're always there. They will either be exchanged or upgraded. They won't cease to exist all of a sudden. That's why we should focus more on solving problems for happiness than to avoid problems. Because if you avoid one, it will just get stacked on another and it will come like a huge parcel. That's why it's better to find happiness in the process of solving the problem than to avoiding them. In our life, we can only face problems and enjoy the process to become happy. So happiness should be seen as an action rather than the end point, and we should enjoy the whole journey instead of just waiting for that one point where we would be happy. Remember, real lifelong fulfillment and happiness can only be earned through one way, which is by constantly choosing and managing what your struggles are and how you deal with them. Let's go to takeaway number 4, which is you're not special. Yes, you, me, we are not special. We should make sure that we realize that we should not just out of nowhere consider ourselves special. Why? This is a reason. I'm not trying to demotivate you or anything. As quoted by the author, people who became great at something became that way because they knew they were not great at that thing. They knew that they were average or mediocre, and they knew they had so much space or potential for development. They worked on that, and that's how they became great. They didn't just think of themselves as great from the start. Many a times it might happen that we end up in situations where we care too much about what other people will think about us, and we don't do things for ourselves. It might be a situation where you are in a group of your friends. You see that one girl and you want to approach her, but you don't go approach her or you don't go talk to her because you fear what these people or these friends of yours will think if the girl laughs at you. But let me tell you one thing. Yes, they might laugh at you. I won't deny the fact. Of course, they might laugh at you. But how much time? Like, they might laugh at you for 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. After that, they will forget it. You're not that great yet, right? You're not that special. But if you had approached that girl, that would have made you special. Why? Because you did what was rare. And what is rare, what creates a mystery, or what is rare, creates more value. That's why you should not care about what others think too much, and you should take steps. People won't laugh at you forever, but people will remember you for being different, for being you. As quoted by the author again, you are not important enough to be remembered, to be laughed at, but you sure are or will be important enough if you approach. Because approaching the problem or approaching what you want to do in spite of the peer pressure or the burden on your shoulders is what makes you rare. And rare things or rare people just attract way more value. Let's go now to our next takeaway, which is the value of suffering. The author, Mark Manson, in his book says that the suffering can vary from individual to individual based on how he perceives suffering. That is, the suffering that we have, the problems that we have, will vary and will be subjective to how we think about them. To make your problem simpler, you have to change what you value for and how you look at your problems. For example, if we see 3 students, one student considers below 90% marks as a failure, one student considers above 70% marks as a success, and one student who considers even success in failures by trying to go over where he failed and trying to learn from his failures. So it's like 3 different perspectives for the same failure or for the same point or the task. That's why it's totally on you how much you suffer from the sufferings. It's what you value more. Do you value learning, or do you value some marks to show off? Do you value a good college, or are you okay with any college, and would you be okay with going to any college and still ace in your life or still do good in your life? It's on you how you do in your life and what you choose as values. It is really important that you choose the values which you can control, because if you have values in your life which you cannot control, let's say you have a crush in your life and you attach your happiness to them, what happens later is that their moods will affect you and your mood drastically. Basically, I'm trying to say is self-improvement is choosing good values and trying to find happiness even in suffering, or trying to find the positivity in the suffering. If you do that, and if you change your values to being more positive or being more in control, for example, you can do the above. The first thing you can do is take responsibility for your problems and for your suffering. Don't shove it on others, because others won't be fixing it. It would give you a temporary dopamine boost or bombardment, but ultimately it's on you. It will keep stagnating, it will keep stacking on top of each other until a point will come where you will be like too much in trouble and you can't even blame it anyone else anymore. That's why take responsibility of your things. Point number 2, acknowledging your own ignorance and constantly questioning your beliefs. What this means is basically you have to acknowledge that yes, you can be wrong and we are ignorant about things a lot of time, and what we know might not be true at all. So you should always be open to all ideas and all beliefs and keep ready for change, because change makes us evolve and become better. The third thing you can do is be open to yourself firstly. Like the most important, be open to yourself and know your flaws and work on them. And the last thing I'll say is the most important, according to me and for me. The last thing is know that we are mortals. We humans are mortals and we are going to die one day. So do you think that if you're going to die one day you should be scrolling Instagram, so YouTube shorts and whatever? You can do that because you might say there is no point in life because we are mortals. But being mortals is kinda a way in which our life gets meaning. I'll tell you why I think that. Because we have a certain deadline in life. Whenever we have deadlines, we tend to do things better. We tend to do tasks better with more productivity and with more fire within us. So according to me, I think if I was going to die, I would rather want to die happy and leave a legacy behind for people to love me, or people to at least remember me, if not love me. So I say if you are going to die anyways, you should aim at doing something better for the future. Just not wasting your time. That's what this fourth thing means, which is being aware of your mortality. That is being aware that you are going to die one day and you have to leave a legacy behind. A legacy for people to live by. Also, another important point in this changing your values is you should be able to say no and hear no. You should not get so attached to any individual that you can't hear any more no's from them, because no's can be frustrating. I know, I've been there. We've all been there. No's can be frustrating and saying no can be hard. But once you learn how to say no, that's when you can completely stop caring about unnecessary things and start doing what you really want. Say no to everything else and do that one thing. Because productivity is not doing 100 things. Productivity is saying no to 100 things so that you can do that one thing which you want to do. The next takeaway is we are always choosing. Imagine a scenario. A thief came inside your house, pointed a gun at your family and said, "You've got 5 hours to run 26.2 kilometers. You better run or he'll kill your whole family." That would suck, right? There would be nothing happy about it. But think of it in other ways. If you went to buy some nice shoes, joggers, t-shirts and all running gear, then you practiced every day for 3 months, and then you went to a marathon with all your family cheering for you, and then you completed the marathon in less than 5 hours, and you got awarded for that with a certificate for running that much and whatnot from the sponsors. Now that would be a pleasurable experience, right? The scenario was the same. It was the hard process of running 26.2 kilometers. But what changed is that right now, when you chose to run for 3 months, when you chose to practice, when you chose to go shopping for running shoes and stuff, you chose it yourself. So when you choose your problem, it's like you are happy with it because you are the one choosing. So be the one choosing your problems. Be the one seeing the problems as something you chose, and that would make the whole process way better. You are wrong about everything, but so am I. Have you ever been in a situation where you think that it's you versus the whole world? Yes, those situations. We'll get to that. But before that, growth is an endlessly iterative process. Growth keeps on happening, and whenever we learn something new, we grow from wrong to slightly less wrong. We do not go from wrong to right, because we can never be truly or completely right. We just go from wrong to slightly less wrong. And that's why you should be open with accepting that you're wrong, and you should have a positive attitude towards being wrong and towards learning new things. You should not have any ego that how can I be wrong, I have done this, I've done that. No, you should accept that you're wrong, because technology and knowledge is constantly evolving, and so you need to. That's why, as change and growth is a continuous process, you cannot go from wrong to right. You have to just go from wrong to slightly less wrong. That's why you need to accept that you are wrong. And that's why I say that if you ever think in your life that it's you versus the world, it's mostly you versus you, because the most doubts and thoughts are within you. The next takeaway is failure is the way forward. Unless you fail, you cannot truly learn. If you think that there's this guy in our class who is always right and who is genius and who knows everything, you don't know the backstory. The backstory is he has probably spent hours on the same thing, doing it himself, trying to crack how that thing works. And that's how he is today, at that point where he can tell you why those things are glitching or those things are having error. It's not because they do not fail. They have failed in isolation. That's what makes them different. Everyone goes through failure in life. It's on you whether you take it positively and learn from it, or whether you let it be you. It's totally on you. You could either be a failure or you could be a champion who has learned through the failure. It's totally your call. That's why failure is the way forward. You have to use it for yourself. This is from Classroom of the Elite light novel, where the character says that success will always look impossible to you, but once you have achieved it, it will look inevitable, like it was something meant to happen. And most importantly, do not ever be afraid of failures. They teach you more than they take away from you. The last takeaway is, and then you die. Death is inevitable. Of course, that's the truth. But we should also know that death is the light by which the shadow of life's meaning is measured. Confronting our own reality of being mortal or mortality to ourselves is really crucial, because that just takes away the crappiness, the fragile feelings, everything, the temporariness from ourselves. Because come on, when you wake up and you know that you're going to die one day, when you accept it and acknowledge it, you won't be the same person. It's like a crash course to maturity, you can say. And there's only one way, that is the only way to be happy with death, is to choose the values bigger than yourself. To not value only yourself, but something around you as well. To leave something behind and to not fear death. The person who lives fully and with content and lives with passion and follows his passion is the one who dies happily, or who dies with a smile on his face. You are already great, because in this huge world where people are dying, even when I'm saying this, when there's so much death rate, you are right there watching this video, and you are literally choosing what to give an F about and what to not care about, right? So you have immense power and you're really great right now. You're in an amazing shape, but you could be even better. Just remember that. Again, getting back to this topic, let's just remember one thing, that not giving an F or not giving a F is not about being okay with being indifferent or being common. It is totally about being okay with the adversity. It's about being okay that you're different than others. It's about not caring what others think about you. It's about living life for yourself. The only way you can be more attractive, more successful, more happy is by doing the things that you like, by saying no to the things you don't, and not caring about what others think about you. That's all from my side. It was amazing having you. If you liked this video, drop a like and comment me what you liked in this video, what could have been better, what sucked. If you'd like that, I'd like to get some critics as well. So see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Love you guys.